Stream this as well. So for all those that do not know me, hello, how y'all doing? My name is Alicia Hurt. I am the founder of I See My Baby, a nonprofit. We existed virtually for our first 2 years, and I'm happy to report we are now. Okay, I am trying to go live. Here we go. We have our first brick and mortar here in Bainbridge, Georgia. That's Southwest Georgia, about maybe 45 minutes from Tallahassee or Dothan, Alabama. We are opening officially January the 2nd, but next week we're doing a soft opening. So if you're in the area, please come by. We offer yoni steaming as a part of our program to support women's overall health and well-being, also for fertility, and battling and decreasing trauma that you may have gone through. I am also a doula, an author of over 34 books, a mother, a wife, and the list goes on. I am a servant leader. And I'm here to serve. And that is the reason why I'm before you today in the capacity of a facilitator. And we're going to talk through, as soon as I find my screen, you guys, you have so many windows open. We're going to talk through advocacy and empowerment. So if you could place in the chat where you're tuning in from, I love to find out where everybody is. Because some people, like a person registered from the UK, I was like, what? So please place in the chat where you are from. And then also what you would like to learn today. Because you always have an expectation, whether it's I don't really have an, okay, well then put that. I don't have an expectation. I'm just here to learn. Put that as well. So we're going to jump right in because as much as I told you that I do, I have something else to do after this. So we're going to jump into this training so that I can go to the next endeavor. So advocacy, empowerment and advocacy. So we're advancing mental and physical health. Put that in the chat. Mental and physical health. That is the name of the game. We have to ensure that we show up for ourselves. And so in this introduction, I'm just going to do a brief overview of I See My Baby. So we are here to holistically support women and families by addressing mental and physical health, fostering empowerment, and advocating for equity and well-being. The purpose of this training is to equip individuals with tools to empower themselves and others while advocating for improved mental and physical health within their communities. So why does it matter? It matters because there are disparities across communities. No matter where you are, like you typed in the chat where you are, there's a disparity where you are in your community. And we want to try to combat that, come up with solutions, and to empower you to take on the role of an advocate for yourself, for your family, for your loved ones. I'm not sure if everyone knows, but my mom was misdiagnosed and she passed. She succumbed 4th-stage lung cancer. She fought for 3 years. She was a nurse in a very reputable company. And because she was not a strong advocate in certain regards, they just missed it. They said, oh, it'll just go away. And I'm like, Lord, I am going to ensure that no one else has to go through what I've gone through, because that was a major loss for myself and my family. So I am vowing to honor my mother in empowering women to take their own health into their own hands as far as being an advocate for yourself, asking questions, and not just taking that first answer as for face value. So you want to understand what empowerment is. So empowerment is the process of gaining confidence, control, and power to make decisions that improve one's quality of life. So there are some key elements to it. There's self-awareness, which is understanding your personal strengths and your challenges. Also education. You have to gain knowledge to make informed decisions. And in this day and age, literally, you can say, hey, Google, right? And then you can go back to your doctor. If that's what helps you to be an advocate and to empower yourself, to educate yourself, then do it. Because your doctor will be like, oh, okay, she kind of knows what she's talking about, and they'll go deeper into whatever they need to tell you, explain it more, or maybe come up with some alternatives rather than just that prescription that they may want to give you or that first thought of what the diagnosis is. So the action is translating knowledge into meaningful change. Yeah. All right. So empowerment in your health. So it encourages proactive management of mental and physical health. It fosters resilience in the face of challenges, and it empowers you as an individual to challenge inequities and advocate for yourself and your community. So with my mom, she was in a lot of pain. She was going back and forth to the doctor. She had scans done on her. They saw specks on her lungs, and they said, oh, it'll just go away. She kept going back, kept going back. She was like, I'm in pain. At one point, she was in pain, even just sitting down to use the restroom. And when they finally listened to her, the cancer had spread. That's why she was in pain. And they had to go and do emergency surgery to secure her femur because the cancer was in her bone. And so we don't want that. We want individuals to be empowered. We want them to challenge the inequity because they thought, oh, well, maybe she just wanted pain medicine, because she's a medical professional. She just abusing drugs. And that literally was not the case. Empowerment is everyday life. It's setting personal goals and creating actionable steps, building confidence through small, consistent achievements, creating networks of support similar to what we're doing right now, so that it sustains long-term. All right, so the advocacy framework. What is advocacy? So advocacy is supporting and it is promoting a cause or a policy to bring about change. Let me see, allow recorded. Okay, it's asking to allow recorded. Yes, you can. All right, cool. Speaking up for those who cannot or do not know how to advocate for themselves. I'm not sure if you follow my podcast, but I had a young lady on there that challenged the school system at one point because her son really needed some more supports. And now she's devoting her whole life and career to helping fellow parents navigate the system, understand the rights of the parents, the children, and how the school can really help them in that, right? And holding them accountable for certain things that her child needs and other children need that are in the special needs program. So that's just one example of speaking up for those that cannot and do not know how to advocate for themselves. Empowering others to become advocates in their own right. And that's what we're doing today. I'm saying to you, be your own advocate, no matter what lane it is. We're talking health here, but it could be for any other things in life. Advocate for yourself. We've heard a long time ago, closed mouth don't get fed. Like you have to speak up and be knowledgeable. So levels of advocacy. So they have individual as a level, which is assisting a person in assessing resources or navigating systems. Then they have a community where it's a group of people and they're raising an awareness and addressing collective challenges. And then there's a policy, which engaging in systematic change to improve laws and regulations. So like for here in South Georgia, we're pushing for midwives to be recognized. Whereas in Florida, they can do midwives, but right now we can't. So that's an example of a policy that we're advocating for. We're coming together and we're saying, no, we need to be able to have midwives deliver babies here in Georgia as another option for our moms. All right, so key advocacy skills. So this is what you need to have in order to be an effective advocate. You need to have effective communication, which is using clear, compassionate language. You need to also listen actively and respond thoughtfully. So you may think an advocate is like, oh, I'm gonna be assertive, I'm gonna get them, I'm gonna go back, I'm gonna be combative. No, that's not it. As you've heard the saying, you get more bees with what? Honey. But you still have to know. You have to be able to understand and hear from what the other side is saying. So then you can respond thoughtfully having education, having an educated response, and knowing when to just be quiet. Because you may talk your way out and they've already said, no, you're right. So effective communication is very important. Also, you want to build a coalition. So partnering with community groups, nonprofits, and institutions, it helps to strengthen, right? If we have a collective impact, it strengthens numbers, and it helps with collaboration, because on your side, you may have resources, or you may have information, or you may have influence, you may have networking, because, like they say, your net worth is your network. So the people that they may be able to support you in a way that maybe someone else can't, and you guys got to come together. It's just better. I mean, magic just happens when you collaborate. Also, strategic planning. So setting clear objectives and measurable outcomes. That's a part of strategic planning. Adjusting tactics based on feedback and results. So you adjust it. You have to be flexible, and you can adjust it, right? That's a part of the strategic planning process. Also, being persistent. So you want to recognize that change takes time. And in this era, it's microwave, right? Or air fryer. It's like, all right, quick, pop it in, and we want it to happen. Well, you have to know, as a good advocate, it does take time and a sustained effort. You got to keep going, like the little engine that could. I think I can. I think I can. I think I can. I know I can. Also, you want to remain committed despite any challenges, right? You don't want to feel defeated and be like, nope, I ain't doing it. I'm going to give up. I wash my hands. Nope. You just stay consistent, stay committed. Remember the reason that you set out to do and advocate for. All right. Also, you need to have advocacy and action. Well, what does that mean, Alicia? I will tell you. It means organizing community meetings to discuss pressing health issues, also creating petitions to address any barriers that may arise, that you see in the system, the flaws, the things that could be done better. Also, hosting educational workshops to raise awareness. And that is one thing that I See My Baby will be doing at our Women's Wellness Center. We're going to advocate for you. All right, so mental health advocacy. Let's jump right in. So challenges in mental health. There's persistent stigma and misunderstanding. It really is. There's limited access to affordable care and resources. There's also a lack of cultural competent providers and tailored solutions. And so a lot of times we're just stuck saying, well, that's just it. One real life example is, after my last child, I had terrible heartburn even when I was pregnant with him. And my doctor up north said, just take some Pepcid and some Tums. And I'm like, no, I refuse to just say it's just how I'm going to be. I wasn't like that before I had him. So now we need some results, because just popping Tums and Pepcid, that's just not going to work for me. And so I had to be my own advocate and say, all right, let me go ahead and do my research, Dr. Google. And it was the types of foods that I was eating. I had to decrease that to help to keep the acid down. So being my own advocate, whereas my doctor was just like, all right, here's some pills to take, I had to take action for myself. Also, advocacy strategies, education, hosting webinars and community talks to break down some of the mental health myths. Use storytelling, like I just did, to normalize conversations about mental health. So one example of that would be, after I had my second child, I just had the blues, and it was just a funk, and I just could not get out of it. And I was like, what is wrong with me? I would snap. I was crying. I remember one time she was crying so bad, and I called my husband. I was like, she don't like me. Not knowing that, no, I was having postpartum depression, right? And I just needed support in that. And I was able to, get a therapist and really work through it. And my husband was like, all right, it's a thing. Like, it's real. Because he's like, what is wrong with you? So normalizing those conversations about mental health, because you just never know what another mom or is going through. You just don't know. Or if they even know that that's actually what they have. So normalize those conversations. All right, so accessibility. partner with mental health professionals to offer free or low-cost services. At I See My Baby, we do have a counselor. Her name is LaShonda. Also alongside her is Tiffany and myself. We help with life coaching. We support with holistic methods as well. But I definitely say you need a mental health professional to advocate and have access to it. Providing a directory of local mental health resources, and we provide that as well. Depending on where you are, you can reach out to the Department of Health, their website. They should be able to have that information readily accessible for you. Community engagement, facilitating peer support groups to create safe spaces for sharing experiences. That is one thing that we're going to do at the Wellness Center as well, because everyone needs a space to drop in. Similar to AA, when you come in there, it's like, all right, my name is Alicia, I'm an alcoholic. You feel safe to share, you're vulnerable. It's the same thing with the mental health advocacy. When you want to have community engagement, you want to have a safe space where they can come. We will have that at the Wellness Center. And I encourage you, if you are somewhere else in another state or international, to do some research on your local organizations, and don't be afraid. Find a peer support group, because they will help you to be an advocate. Also, leverage social media to spread awareness and combat stigmas. There are many pages and groups out there that literally will just wrap their arms around you no matter what your situation. They're great resources, women that have gone through just so much in life that can give you some of the wisdom that you need. And if there isn't any, guess what? Or there aren't any, you can create it. You can create it and be that advocate for your community. Empowerment through mental health. So you want to encourage self-care practices. I always talk about journaling, like journaling. Oh my God, that's what helped me to write all these books. It was healing and therapeutic in journaling, practicing mindfulness and therapy. As I always say, there's Jesus and there's therapy. Now, if you don't believe, whatever your higher power, your belief is, hand in hand with therapy, you need it. You need it. Even the most famous people and the ones you think that have it all together, they have a therapist, believe it or not. Promote resilience by fostering supportive relationships and community connections. Also, advocate for mental health laws to ensure equitable care. All right, so measuring impact. Now, we're doing all of this. How can we ensure that it's landing, that it's making an impact, that it's making change, right? How are we going to do that? Well, I'll tell you, you want to conduct surveys to gauge the changes in mental health. Also track participation in health programs and workshops. You can also share success stories to inspire ongoing advocacy. All right, so let's go through the physical health advocacy. So there are challenges, right? There are challenges. It has health disparities. Again, depending on the population, low poverty areas, you will see that there are more disparities than the higher income areas. There's lack of access to preventative care and holistic methods. A lot of times you'll see like the Trader Joe's and things in the areas where, the income is relatively higher, whereas you may see more fast food restaurants in the lower income places, and those foods and options are not as healthy, right? They're not holistic. So they're not helping to prevent, they're actually doing more harm. There are widespread misinformation about nutrition, exercise, and wellness practices. The advocacy strategy for this is the preventative care. So promoting awareness of regular checkups, screenings, and vaccinations. Also educating you on the importance of early detection of diseases like cancer and diabetes. And we're actually partnering with local medical professionals that will do nutrition classes, talk about wellness. Like I said, myself and Tiffany, we will support you with the herbal holistic methods as well. We're bringing in a lot of resources here to the Bainbridge area just to help with that particular piece of that advocacy component, especially the prevention. So like promoting regular checkups and screenings and vaccinations, also educating you on what does it look like? What does it look like for cancer? What does it look like? Who had it in your family? Like, find out your genealogy. If it ran in your family, then you need to like make your doctor aware of it and check on those parts of you more than, you know, just regular checkups, right? So if your family is known for diabetes, right, and your diet consists of going to the Wawa that just opened and getting that big old drink, right, every single day, or going to these nice, oh God, we eat so good down here, restaurants, and getting that breakfast sandwich and going to work, and we're not going to exercise, then we know where we're heading, right? So just promoting and advocating for people to get your checkups, get your screenings. Know that you don't have to deprive yourself, but you have to do it in reason. You have to do it in moderation. And I am saying this with no judgment because I am working on it myself. Also, your holistic wellness, advocating for the health approaches is to combine it with traditional and alternative methods. So I'm not sure if any of you saw my live today. I talked about the Moby bark that my family's from Trinidad. And so that is a way to naturally combat diabetes and high blood pressure. Now, I'm not saying take this and not do what your doctor say or not take that pill, but I am saying it does help to decrease those levels naturally. So that's just one example. Also offering workshops on topics like nutrition, fitness, and stress management. So an example of that is our monthly West African dance class that we will offer, also the weekly yoga. Those are ways to reduce your stress, also to get your fitness in and have fun while you're doing it. Community programs. So again, fitness classes, healthy cooking demonstrations. That's one that we are going to need to work through. I did do that in the school system when I managed the programs for the kids, and it really made a difference with them hands-on learning how to take the food from the garden and then make an actual meal out of it. So that is something I would love to put on the parking lot that we can work through as an organization. And also wellness fairs. Empowerment through physical health. So equipping individuals with tools to take control of their own health. So it's one thing to say, all right, I'm gonna give you a meal. All right, I'm gonna give you another meal. But there's another thing to say, now let me teach you how to go and grocery shop, buy the things that you need, even when you're on a budget, right? That is a healthier option. Then let me teach you and show you how to then cook those things for your family to make sure it is tasty and you're still being healthy. And then let me help you understand that even on a busy schedule, you can find 30 minutes a day to exercise, move, and get your blood flowing. Also, addressing the systematic barriers to care through collective actions and education. All of this goes hand in hand. Highlighting success stories to motivate the community and the participation. And we're definitely going to ask for testimonials, so y'all get ready when you go through our program, because people hear you, see you, and then they buy in. A lot of people have to see it in order for them to buy into it, understand it. Whereas some people, you hear it and you get it. Some people have to see it. And so there is definitely power in highlighting success stories. Also tracking that progress, especially for us as a nonprofit, and we seek grant funding. And then we just want the community to know what the impact is and how we're able to support. So you want to monitor the health outcomes through the community, health surveys, analyze attendance and feedback from wellness programs, use data to refine and scale successful initiatives. Y'all still there with me? Y'all all right? But if you're all right, give me a thumbs up or say I'm good in the chat. I'm good, because I know I'm giving you a lot of information. Empowering women and families. So you want to create safe spaces. I really need you to hear, because trust is a thing that you have to earn. And in society now, people are so funny, so leery, they're not as open. And so when you're trying to really support women and families, you have to create a genuine, authentic, safe space for them, to be vulnerable, to really help them to break down barriers and get to the root cause of whatever they're going through. So when you're hosting support groups for women, you have them share their journeys and challenges, similar to our recent retreat in the Grill, Jamaica. We were able to create that safe space where everybody, including myself, I was able to share my journey, my challenges, and then get poured into to create solutions. You want to offer resources that are tailored to their diverse needs, because everybody's need is different. You want to also establish a judgment-free zone for open dialogue. You don't want someone to tell you something. You be like, what, girl? What? Or if you're not saying it out your mouth, your face. Your face is judging. So remember, no judgment. It has to be a judgment-free zone for open dialogue. All right. Also, education and resources. You want to provide workshops on parenting, financial literacy, and reproductive health. And you want to share this information, right, to help navigate the healthcare system. And it's intimidating. It's intimidating. I've had all these different babies, different pregnancies, and I've learned so much every step of the way. And I'm like, wow, I should have known that. Why am I just finding that out after baby 3, right? So being an advocate, being empowered, getting around the right communities, having an understanding, it really, really helps us. It really helps us. And that's one of the reasons why I'm giving back. Because I'm like, even though I didn't have certain things, the doula I didn't know I could have and things of that sort, doesn't mean that I can't now give it back. Give it back to the community. Give it back to that woman that's like, I really don't know. That 19, 20, 21, 25-year-old first-time mom that's like, I'm so scared. I don't know what to do. I don't know what's going on, right? So you want to equip families with tools to advocate for themselves and their children. Leadership development. So I'm only one person. So guess what? I have to go and now train someone else. I have to go and help someone else along the way so that they can become mentors and they can become advocates, right? You want to build confidence through public speaking and community engagement opportunities. And if you say to me, Alicia, I want to do this, just know you're going to do it. Because I'm going to push you along. We're going to do it because it's needed. It's necessary. We need more advocates. No matter where you are, you need to be an advocate. They need advocates, right? Because people, the new generation is coming up. It's coming up. And even though we have all this information being thrown at us, it's just being thrown at us. Are we consuming it? Do we really understand it? The old days of just doing what the doctor says are done. It's over. You have to ask questions in order for you to have a deeper understanding and knowledge and know that, is this the right course of action for me, right? All right, let's rock and roll. We're going through this, y'all. Okay, so let's break down these 3 categories. So we have the mental health, mental wellness, which we integrate meditation, affirmation, and scripture reflection. I'm going to also add to that a community. Your community can be your sister group, right? We talked about social media. It can be a physical group where you may be going to a church. You may be going to a community event similar to like our nonprofit, where they have these different opportunities and spaces to unite. That can help as well with your mental wellness. Again, encouraging journaling, creating outlets for therapeutic tools. So whether that's going to the museum, whether that's going for a walk or a run, and highlighting the connection between your mental health and your physical health goes hand in hand. So for physical wellness, again, you're integrating the same thing with your scriptures, your affirmations, your reflections, all those good things on top of your journaling. And if you're saying to me, Alicia, I don't know about the journaling, I don't know where to start, that's fine. Just go to ITMybaby.org, and we have some journals there that'll help you and that'll walk you through the process. If you're saying I don't want a physical one, that's fine, love. We have electronic as well. Or you can literally go to your local Family Dollar, Dollar General, and pick up a journal and just start writing. You may say, I don't know what to write about. That's fine. But I don't know what to write about, and continue on with your thought process, and you will start journaling. It is literally that simple. And you just start to Purge yourself, dump everything, just get it out on that paper. It is so freeing and it's so therapeutic. Highlighting again those two connections. So now we're talking about the spiritual wellness. So we foster connection to faith and purpose as a resource of strength. We encourage spiritual practices that align with your personal belief. So I've just did a podcast today. A lady does chanting every morning, and that helps her. For me, it's devotion time where I do praise and prayer and worship with God. Then I put out my devotional scripture for the day, my application question to ponder on, and I write through it. So it really just depends on what is your spiritual practice, and then do it. And then provide the tools for integrating spirituality into daily life. So it's one thing to sit in church, you sit in church Sunday, you hear the words, oh, I feel so good. And then Monday through Saturday, you a completely different person. But then on Sunday, you don't put them clothes on, you looking fly, you got swag. And then you leave and say, I feel so good. And then Monday through Saturday, you a different person. No, what this is saying is what you learn from your practices, from your faith, you carry it through with you because it helps you with your spiritual wellness. Okay, so building advocacy movements. So here's some of the steps. Again, identify the needs. You want to build partnerships and you want to raise awareness. And you may be saying, Alicia, it's not that simple. It is. And we can support you through it. We really will. And we really can. Sustaining the movement, having regular assesses impact, adapt strategies, meet evolving needs. Training new people like we talked about, creating the leadership pipeline. If someone is passionate about it, if it has worked for them, it changed their life, maybe they had a diagnosis, and because they were an advocate, they were able to pick through and figure out how to get through the illness or the ailments, they will want to give back. So it's an easy way to create that leadership pipeline. Also, celebrate milestones and maintain the momentum and the morale. And again, to measure success, you do that through your surveys, you're tracking it, you're monitoring the community, you're seeing the changes in, your everyday life. When you say see changes in the grocery store, if people don't tend to open up and be friendly, and now you're like, oh, but I'm seeing more. That's what I'm saying. You see it in the community. You start to see an impact, a change from the advocacy movement. And remember, it does take time. So as we conclude this, I want you all to understand that empowerment and advocacy, they're tools that help you to improve both mental and physical health. It is not an easy rock to move. However, it can be done. And through these sessions and people just rallying around each other and saying, hey, I don't agree with what's going on. Hey, I know that there are more answers and they're pushing the needle. We can conquer, we can overcome by embracing holistic practices, by building community, advocating for systematic change, and we can create a healthier and more equitable future for us all. And I See My Baby, we are committed to fostering empowerment and supporting individuals, right, in becoming advocates for themselves and their communities to ensure lasting impact and meaningful progress. And with us today is Miss Tiffany. I've been talking about you. I didn't even see your face there, but if you would like to just take a few moments just to talk through this advocacy piece, the floor is all yours.
Yes, ma'am. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Miss Tiffany. And like Alicia said, that we will be working and partnering together to just create this space for the community of Bainbridge. I myself have worked in advocacy and community engagement for over a decade now. So, and I'm still learning. So, the only thing I would like to say is that, with advocacy work, you can't, you can absolutely pour from an empty cup, but it won't end up in a good situation. So all the things that Alicia is saying about, doing your self work, your daily devotional, whatever it is, you have to empower yourself first before you set out to help someone else. It really does make a difference. And and people will know. People will know. Like my clients know when I'm not okay, but they understand I'm human, I'm able to see, able to recognize that, which is most important. We have to know thyself first. So that's what I have to add to that. It is a learning process, like I said. There's so many different pieces to it. So we thank you all for being on the call and um, you know, walking this walk with us. It's gonna be fun. It's probably gonna be some rough days, but I imagine that we'll have some bright shining days, more of those than rough days. So um, yeah. Anything else specific you want me to talk about? I will be helping out
No,
with.
that was good.
Okay, I think I hopped on. You were talking about physical health. So that's one of my passions via dance, via yoga. Yoga also is one of my practices that keeps me grounded and just keeps me always kind of in an introspective space and understanding that we are all one. And, that's what yoga means, the union of it all. So that's going to be my exciting piece, as well as the doula work. Of course, doula advocacy is going to be one of our major programs, along with the mental health and the physical health. So yes, all good stuff from what I saw. The few slides I did see. Great, great, great topic.
Well, thank you so much, Tiffany. I thank you all again for joining. Until next time, please keep up with our Eventbrite. I feel like it said we had like 233 events or something. I was like, what? And we still have more to add, okay? We have more to add for 2025. And we will ensure to have some virtual options, of course, and the in-person options for those that are local. But thank you guys for your listening ear. And that's it, y'all. And we done.